The LAPD is still on the scene of an officer-involved shooting that happened hours ago in Culver City.
A person was shot and killed by police after they received a call about a man waving a gun around. KCAL 9's Greg Mills spoke to a witness who saw the whole thing.
This intersection of Venice and Sepulveda shut down for hours after a police officer shot a man who was carrying a gun.
All of a sudden, I hear 6, 7 gunshots.
Just before 1 p.m., LAPD officers raced here to the Shell station on the southwest corner of Venice and Sepulveda, responding to a 911 call of a man with a gun creating a disturbance. An LAPD supervisor was first to arrive, and he shot the man.
At this point, I don't know what his condition is.
Based on witness accounts, that man, believed to be in his 30s, was shot in this area on Venice Boulevard under the 405 overpass.
There was just a swarm of police running with shotguns out and their pistols out.
He said they were running here toward the overpass. The man shot by police was the only person hurt. Early in the investigation, LAPD not certain if there was an exchange of gunfire. They've kept witnesses inside police tape for hours. Investigators expect to be here until about midnight tonight. In Palms, Greg Mills, KCAL 9 News.
All right, guys, I do have a Thanksgiving editorial for you. Something to give thanks for. As you see, we've changed the room around a little bit. You guys got a better background now, huh? Yeah. Anyway, I do have a Thanksgiving editorial for you. And something to give thanks for. The LAPD justifying an officer-involved shooting. I don't know. You know what? I looked at the picture. I don't know. I can't really get into the mind of the officer that shot. This one's tough. Let's just jump into it and you'll see why. Thank you to LA Times for this story. The Los Angeles Police Commission ruled Tuesday that an LAPD sergeant acted within department policy when fatally shooting a 31-year-old man who was holding a bicycle part that resembled a handgun in Culver City back in January. The unanimous decision justifying the sergeant's actions and clearing him of any punishment came after family members of Victor Valencia told the commission during a virtual Zoom meeting that Valencia suffered from mental illness, was of little threat, and deserved better. Sarah Cervantes, Valencia's cousin, said, "There's other ways to go about things. What gave the reason for this officer to shoot down my cousin like he was nothing?" Sarah Cervantes and other family members said that officers should be better trained to understand people with mental illness and see them as people deserving of compassion. I will second what she's saying here. Now, I've seen the picture, and I really don't know what the sergeant was thinking. I don't know what the situation exactly was. See if there's video on it. But the thing is, she's right about that law enforcement officers are poorly trained when it comes to dealing with mental health. They deal with mental health threats just like they're dealing with any other threat. In other words, they don't understand that you can talk down mentally ill people. They just shoot them down. You know, I'm not saying in this case particularly, but in a lot of cases we've seen where mental ill people were thrown to the ground and handcuffed and pepper sprayed when all you had to do was talk them down. Mentally ill people, when they have a mental health illness, they don't comprehend or analyze information the same as somebody who's mentally healthy. Does that make sense? So you have to treat them different. You have to talk them down a little. You're not talking to somebody that can analyze and understand your information like a mentally healthy person could. You're talking to somebody that just doesn't get it, somebody that just doesn't really make the connection. But they treat them differently, and because they're poorly trained in mental health. Commission President Eileen Decker told the family that the commission would hear all the evidence in the case and adjudicate the case fairly and objectively in accordance with the law. That meant a justification. The commission then went into a closed session where it agreed with recommendations from LAPD Chief Michael Moore, boo, and a separate panel that reviews police shootings that Sergeant Colin Langsdale, who shot Valencia, should receive a tactical debriefing, but was otherwise in line with departmental policy and therefore justified in his actions. Valencia's killing has been protested by activists in the city who said Valencia did not have a gun and should not have been shot. The commission's ruling comes amid a broader discussion in LA about the role police should play in cases involving people suffering from mental illness, with activists and police agreeing that alternative mental health providers would be better equipped to respond to certain calls for help. However, it's likely the call that brought Langsdale to the Culver City street where Valencia was shot would elicit a police response regardless, given its nature. According to a report Moore provided to the commission Tuesday, Langsdale responded to the area of South Sepulveda and South Venice Boulevards about 12:45 p.m. after police received reports of a man with a gun, with one caller saying he was waving it around. Langsdale did not have his body camera activated when he first arrived at the scene, according to police. Once he activated it, it captured Valencia already on the ground and Langsdale standing behind the open door of his police car, gun drawn. Langsdale said he believed Valencia had a gun. Other witnesses at the scene said they also believed he had a gun. Surveillance footage from a local gas station released by police showed Valencia holding up the bicycle part and appearing agitated. Sarah Cervantes, Valencia's cousin, said she suffers from depression and that Los Angeles needs more services and programs for people suffering from mental illness, and Los Angeles Police Department officers need far better training on how to interact with people in the throes of a mental health crisis. Cervantes said they need to know how to deal with people with our state of minds. It's not our fault that we go through this mental state. And that's the thing. It's not their fault. Somebody with a mental illness, it's not their fault that they're acting up, that he's waving that around. It's an illness. He doesn't get it. He didn't make the connection like other people would. The thing is, too, he should be punished or disciplined, I should say, for not having his body camera on until after the shooting. Like he doesn't turn his, I shot somebody. Let me turn on my body camera. Well, now nobody knows what happened to lead to that shooting. Nobody knows because there were no cameras there and he didn't start his body camera until the guy was on the ground already. That's why we need to record the police. Had somebody been, I'm going to look for a video on it. If I don't find one, of course, you're not going to see one here. But that's why it's important when you see something going on and the police arrive, start your cameras, start recording, because if somebody recorded this, that could be the only truth we have of this incident is that recording. Does that make sense? Without any type of video recording, it's what the sergeant said. So you need to record because your video camera isn't going to lie. I get that people can edit things differently, but in and of itself, this device right here isn't going to lie. It's just doing a recording. That's what it does. That's its only job. I don't know. That's its only job is to record what's going on. So always record the police. In the end, I can't really say that the officer shot somebody that didn't have a gun because it really looks like a freaking gun. But how did he deal with this person who had a mental illness when he was on scene? What led up to him shooting him? We don't know because he didn't have his body camera on until the guy was on the ground. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers, to include cops that shoot people with bicycle parts from coast to coast.
All right, let's just get a tube up, and we have a show coming or no?
Not yet, but
okay.
we got things figured out a little bit better.
Okay, do we have a show coming up because we can make our approach up there?
Yep.